Julius Caesar, the general who destroyed the Roman Republic and created an empire. On a tense March morning in 44 BCE, the heart of Rome beat inside the Senate House. Senators in snowy white togas gathered under the marble columns, pretending loyalty while hiding daggers. At the center of this drama stood Gaius Julius Caesar, general, politician, reformer, and the most powerful man Rome had ever seen. Born in 100 BCE to an ancient but not especially rich patrician family, Caesar rose in a world shaken by civil wars, corruption, and social crisis. By conquering Gaul, defeating his Roman rivals, and seizing dictatorial power, he shattered the old republic. Yet, even as he ruled as near king, he planned sweeping reforms of law, calendar, and citizenship. This is the story of the ambitious aristocrat whose life and death changed Rome and the course of Western history.
Julius Caesar was born into the Julii Caesaris, an old patrician clan that traced its mythical origins to the goddess Venus through Aeneas. Yet, despite this noble pedigree, his family was neither especially rich nor dominant in politics. Rome itself was in turmoil. The Second Punic War had left deep scars. Wealth from conquest flooded into Italy, enriching a narrow aristocracy while dispossessing many peasants. Powerful generals like Gaius Marius and Lucius Cornelius Sulla had already marched on Rome with their armies, turning political rivalry into open civil war. Growing up in this unstable world, Caesar learned that birth alone was no longer enough. Power now belonged to those who could command soldiers, wealth, and popular support. Even as a youth, he moved among factions, marriages, and alliances, absorbing how the Republic really worked and how it was breaking apart.
Caesar's early career unfolded against this backdrop of crisis and shifting loyalties. At about 16, he lost his father, leaving his strong-willed mother Aurelia as his key influence. He soon took a decisive political stand by marrying Cornelia, daughter of the radical leader Cinna, ally of Marius. When Sulla seized power and ordered Caesar to divorce Cornelia, Caesar refused. That act of defiance nearly cost him his life. Only the intercession of influential friends saved him. He prudently left Italy and served in Asia and Cilicia, where his courage and initiative stood out. On his way to Rhodes to study oratory, he was captured by pirates. Treating them with ironic superiority, he promised to crucify them once free. After raising a small force, he kept his word. These episodes reveal a young man daring, stubborn, theatrical, and determined never again to be entirely at the mercy of others. Returning to Rome after Sulla's death, Caesar began the traditional political ladder, first as an advocate prosecuting corrupt Sullan officials, then as quaestor in further Spain. He quickly understood that power required spectacle as well as talent. As aedile, he spent vast borrowed sums on games, festivals, and public buildings, dazzling the people and alarming his creditors. He won the prestigious religious office of Pontifex Maximus through bold campaigning and shrewd vote-buying, moving into an official residence in the forum's heart. Scandals swirled around him, rumors of affairs, accusations after the Catiline conspiracy, and the infamous incident where Publius Clodius intruded on sacred women-only rites in Caesar's house, prompting him to divorce his second wife, Pompeia. Through all this, he cultivated an image, charming, elegant, slightly dangerous, always in the public eye. Even when attacked, he emerged more famous, not less. Caesar's ambitions needed more than offices. They required an alliance with Rome's other great power brokers. He skillfully brought together two men who disliked and feared each other: Pompey the Great, celebrated conqueror of the East, and Crassus, the immensely wealthy financier. This informal pact later called the First Triumvirate, allowed each to gain what he wanted. Caesar secured the consulship for 59 BCE and, afterward, a long-term command in Gaul. As consul, he forced through land reforms for Pompey's veterans and measures benefiting tax collectors allied with Crassus, using street gangs and popular assemblies to override senatorial resistance. The elite was outraged by his rough tactics, but the people were thrilled. When his term ended, he departed for Cisalpine and Transalpine Gaul with multiple legions and an unprecedented 5-year command, soon extended. With this, Caesar gained what he most needed: time, soldiers, and a distant battlefield where he could forge his legend. In Gaul, between 58 and 50 BCE, Caesar transformed himself from an ambitious politician into Rome's greatest living general. He crushed the migrating Helvetii, defeated the German warlord Ariovistus, and subdued the fierce Belgae in the north. Exploiting divisions among many Gallic tribes, he conquered them piecemeal. He even carried out 2 brief expeditions to Britain, more for prestige than profit, projecting Roman power beyond the known world of his time. His greatest challenge came in 52 BCE, when Vercingetorix of the Arverni united many tribes in a national uprising. After a setback at Gergovia, Caesar besieged Vercingetorix at Alesia, encircling the fortress with massive earthworks while also defending against a huge relief army. The double-ring siege ended with Gallic defeat. Gaul was pacified with brutal efficiency, and Caesar returned rich in loot, loyal troops, and unrivaled fame. While Caesar fought in Gaul, the political balance in Rome shifted. Julia's death broke the family tie with Pompey. Crassus perished in a disastrous campaign against the Parthians. Pompey drifted closer to the conservative Senate, who feared Caesar's growing power and wealth. The question became, would Caesar surrender his command and return as a private citizen, exposed to prosecution, or keep his legions? When the Senate, under Pompey's protection, ordered him to lay down arms, Caesar chose confrontation. In January 49 BCE, he led a single legion across the small river Rubicon, boundary of his province, reportedly declaring that the die was cast. Civil war erupted. Pompey and many nobles fled to Greece. Caesar swiftly took Italy and Spain, then crossed the Adriatic, finally crushing Pompey at Pharsalus in 48 BCE. Pompey fled to Egypt, where he was murdered, an act that horrified even Caesar. Caesar lingered in Alexandria, entangled in Egypt's dynastic struggle and in a celebrated affair with Queen Cleopatra VII. After installing her as ruler alongside her brother, he returned west to finish the civil war. He crushed remaining opposition at Thapsus in Africa, then at Munda in Spain in 45 BCE. With his enemies defeated, Caesar assumed unprecedented powers, dictator for 10 years, then for life. Yet he used this power for more than personal glory. He reformed the chaotic Roman calendar into the Julian system, aligning civil time with the solar year. He expanded the Senate, founded colonies in places like Carthage and Corinth, resettled veterans and poor citizens, and extended Roman citizenship more broadly, notably to Cisalpine Gaul. He tried to knit the vast Mediterranean world into a more coherent, orderly state, an autocracy, but one that promised stability after generations of bloodshed. Despite his ruthlessness in war, massacres, amputations, harsh reprisals, Caesar showed remarkable clemency toward defeated Roman enemies. He pardoned many senators and knights who had fought against him, restoring them to office and trust. Among them were men like Brutus and Cassius, who would later raise their daggers against him. Caesar's personality combined icy calculation with flashes of impatience and vanity. He dressed carefully, was conscious of his image, and pursued numerous love affairs. He was also a writer of genius. His commentaries on the Gallic War and on the Civil War, written in spare, deceptively simple Latin, recast his actions as necessary, just, and inevitable. They served as brilliant propaganda and enduring literature. Tireless in body and mind, he dictated letters to multiple secretaries at once, campaigning, legislating, and writing as if racing against time itself. Yet Caesar's very dominance and his careless symbols of monarchy proved fatal. Statues, honors, and titles accumulated around him. He sat on a golden chair, wore the laurel like a crown, and allowed temples and festivals in his name. Whispers of king terrified Romans raised on hatred of monarchy. A conspiracy formed among about 60 senators, mixing hardened Republicans and men personally indebted to Caesar. On the Ides of March 44 BCE, they struck. In the Senate House, they surrounded him with a petition, then attacked with daggers. According to later tradition, when Caesar saw Brutus among them, he covered his face with his toga and fell beneath a rain of blows at the foot of Pompey's statue. The conspirators had killed the man, but not his legacy. Civil war resumed, and out of it emerged the Principate of Augustus, an imperial system that forever bore Caesar's name. Caesar, Kaiser, Czar.